Bhagavan was relentless in his pointing of the question, who am I? That itself is a huge clue. The great sage himself kept reminding us to ask ourselves, who is it that I am? So obviously, it was clear to him that most of humanity has picked up a concept about itself, which is not true. And in clarifying, in coming to the truth about who you are, in coming to the insight about who you are, then all this confusion that we call suffering becomes alien. Most of us are convinced about who we are, especially if there are some who are new to Satsang. And we've been looking at this fill in the blank, isn't it? What are we filling the blank with? I am blank. So some will fill the name there. I am, whatever the name is. Then you ask, so what does that name represent? The name represents a body in this world. But what does the world represent? What is the world right now? Just a set of perceptions, isn't it? If one by one these perceptions were to vanish, the world, these outer perceptions, outer seeming perceptions, and these inner seeming perceptions, that which we call the body sensations, the visuals of the body, if all this was to vanish, would the perceiver also vanish? At what point does the perceiver go? So if the world became completely quiet and all visual perception also stopped, are you still there or no? If these sensations that you call the body, they also were not felt for some time, are you still there or no? Just like the space between two thoughts, it just continued and there are no thoughts. Then are you still there or no? If you were feeling no emotion at the present time, are you still there? If all these perceptions were not there, do you still exist? Or are you also another perception? Are you an appearance? The masters have said, find out that which witnesses all appearances. Are you also an appearance? What witnesses you then? So beyond an object of perception, what can you put in that box? I am something. Now many will make the mistake. Everyone's with me so far? It cannot be an object of perception. Then what can you replace it with? That I am something can become I am something conceptual. I don't have a perception of it, so I must be something which is non-perceptual. But what do I know about that? That I know is the self. See? We can have a concept of the self and put it in that box. Actually, even otherwise, when we say I am the body or I am the mind, these are also just concepts. We've taken a set of sensations and we've created a idea about these sensations and called it body. We've created a set of constructs, energy constructs, which we call the mind. So these are already just conceptual. But you could take on a concept which seems higher than that, higher than the perceptual constructs, and say, I am the self. But you find that just using the intellect and saying that I am the self or I am awareness doesn't also help. This is what the intellect does, isn't it? Intellect now has understood that I cannot be an object which is witnessed. So I must be something which is the perceiver. Is it? So what is that? That must be the self. But this is also still just an idea. So if you were to say that no idea can be the reality of you, because all ideas are also constantly changing. So now you cannot put any perception in the box, I am something. You cannot put any concept in the box, I am something. Are we left with anything now? If no object I am, if no concept I am. And when I say object, I am including all perceptions, including feelings, thoughts, everything. Then what is left? Now mind cannot help us here. Intellect cannot help us here. The greatest intellect will have great trouble having this insight. But the most childlike innocence, with the childlike wonder, this will be the most apparent, the most obvious. So don't strain yourself. Strain means that you're trying to use your mind or intellect. Just a childlike wonder. What is here that is beyond perception? Don't force anything at all. And remain in this innocence. Because everything else comes after the idea that I am an object. What should I do? Why am I here? All these existential questions all come only after you pick up the notion of being something, either a concept or an object. Both are the same, just notionally. That is why this is the main question. Who am I?